We start with Governor Doug Ducey's State of the State speech on Monday. It is the traditional start of the new legislative session and also the governor's 6th year in office. Where does the governor want to take Arizona in the coming year? Joining us is Governor Doug Ducey's top aide, Chief of Staff Daniel Scarpinato. Welcome back to Sunday Square.
Good morning. Great to be here. You too.
You've been with the governor now all 6 years.
That's right.
So you've seen 6 State of the States. Did he give a State of the State the first year with the inauguration?
Yeah, we were just talking about this backstage. It's number 6.
Number 6, okay.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to give too much away, and we as reporters won't get the speech until sometime Monday. Just give us something, like, what's the hashtag going to be?
I thought about bringing a copy in case you had any edits, but...
I'm a good editor. What's the hashtag? Give us a nibble here.
Here's the deal, Bram, is the governor's been all over the state. I mean, we actually, after we sine-died and wrapped up the session last year, we went home, took a nap, changed our clothes, came back and started working on what was next. And so we've been developing our agenda for about 6 months. The governor's been all over the state talking about the issues that he'll be focused on in the speech this week. You know, public education, public safety, infrastructure, our economy, and the needs of rural Arizona. There's needs outside Maricopa County. So these will all be things that he focuses on. And really, our economy is roaring. We're headed in the right direction. So now how do we pour on the gas and do even more?
Pour on the gas.
That's right.
Is that the hashtag? Pour on the gas.
You'll have to wait. You'll have to wait, Bram. It's too much of a surprise to give away.
Now, that's interesting, pour on the gas, because last year there was some caution in the speech. The economy was clearly coming back, and yet the governor said, let's hit the brakes, folks. Let's not do too much.
I don't remember that.
I just read it last night.
Hit the brake?
Well, the sense was hit the brakes. Let's be careful. We're not going to spend like, so-called drunken sailors.
Oh, well, we're still going to have a real approach of fiscal responsibility. I mean, here's the deal, is we have a real booming economy that gives us resources to invest. But we also know that the reason it's booming is because of the policies that we've been doing here in Arizona that are attracting people and businesses to the state. We want to do more of it. And part of that means being fiscally responsible, so we're not obligating dollars that we can't spend on an ongoing basis. So we're going to have a real approach of fiscal discipline, fiscal responsibility, targeted investments, but also recognizing that we can give some money back to the taxpayers.
Okay, I want to talk about some of those targeted investments in a minute, but first, the big picture, big political year. The legislature, Republicans in the legislature could lose the majority in the upcoming elections. Republicans have a lot of seats to defend. So does this make this a go for broke year, knowing you might not have majorities in 2021? Or just play careful and give your members something to run on?
Well, I think what's important about the session is that everybody does need to put the campaign on pause. I mean, there'll be time for the campaign.
Is that even possible?
Well, I think that what people want is for us to govern. So the legislative session needs to be about governing. We've got great relationships with legislative leadership. We have great relationships with legislative leadership on both sides of the aisle. So I think the people want us to govern. The campaign can wait until we're done with the session.
One of the campaigns is likely to be an initiative to raise more money for schools. So let's talk about that. The 20 by 2020 plan, giving teachers 20% raises over 3 years.
That's right. Last
raise is coming in June of 2020, in June of this year. Is this the year the governor goes for the next step after 20 by 2020?
Well, we've always said we're not going to check the box on public education. There's going to be a lot in this budget and in this state of the state around public education and what comes next, how we do more. And yeah, part of that will mean new investments in K-12 education. We've really moved the needle in Arizona on K-12 education, both on resources and on results. It's time to do a lot more.
So what does come next?
Well, I think one area, and you've actually focused on this on your show, is closing the achievement gap. You know, we know that there are students in schools that are struggling, particularly in our low-income areas. How can we address the achievement gap? A lot of this is our tribal schools, our rural schools, but also inner city schools. How can we get more resources and more help to those schools to help get those schools headed in the right direction and help kids who are in those schools? And that's really how we can move the mark and move the needle when it comes to achievement in the state.
And looking bigger picture again, the political year, the governor is honorary chair, state chair for President Trump's reelection campaign. How much time is that going to take?
Well, I think, like I said, the campaign will come. There'll be plenty of time for campaigning, but the session is about getting things done. And we really want to get some good things done. We're in a position where the economy is doing really well, where we have resources to invest and where we have resources to give back to the taxpayers. So that's going to be the focus starting this week.
All right. Dan Scarpinato, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The governor will deliver his State of the State speech at 2 p.m. Monday in the House of Representatives. Follow 12 News and 12news.com for full